Oh, yeah.
Does that mean we're live?
That means we're live.
Oh, we're live.
Woohoo!
Horrible Assault is live. I prayed to Elon Musk today for internet power. I think it's going to work.
Internet power.
It will be
And we're back.
granted.
For future promises of internet from the sky.
Yeah, it'll be way in the future. But he will come through.
He'll deliver internet and cat girls.
Oh, speaking of cat girls, I was scrolling through Reddit, and there was a screenshot of some like government meeting in Iraq or Iran, and they were streaming it to Facebook. It was kind of like if you're watching C-SPAN or something, and they were streaming it. Oh man, I got to see if I can just find it. But I guess somebody forgot that they had the filters turned on, and one of the guys that was like one of these officials, I don't know if they call them senators or what, but he had cat ears and cat whiskers the whole time.
What?
Wait, let me see. I saved it so I can show you guys, but and somebody went through and I guess they got a bunch of screenshots from
chopped his head off
from the same thing. Okay, yeah, let me share this.
Oh my god.
That's so awesome.
How's that? You like that? Here, let's go into the comments. Oh shit, that's the wrong comment.
You'll see a video of him in cat ears later beating his wife or talking to another man out on the street.
Oh, did he? Where's it at? Oh well, just continue. I might find it, but yeah, that's what Cat Girl reminded me of.
See, I see a future where we're hacking into
There's one.
video streams from the government and just doing that to politicians all the time.
Yeah, we should.
There's just a dick on his forehead, just bouncing around as he talks. That's the future I want to live in.
Yeah,
The cyberpunk future.
Cyberpunk. Yeah. Oh man, did you guys watch the? I know Dave said for some reason he couldn't watch it, but
It was at work.
The E3. Oh, is that what it was? Man, I just turn on YouTube and just put my phone in the passenger seat. It's listenable. You know, it's not something you necessarily need to see.
It's free data. It's free data.
Oh well, I don't usually go over on my data. So, but they were talking about the simulation Elon was, and he was talking about dark matter and dark energy and stuff, and he made this great point. He's like if you had created this simulation and the little beings inside, they had gotten really good at math and stuff, and they figured out that there's this huge hole in the equations of how stuff works in the universe. When you just throw in this, it's dark matter, it's dark energy. Don't worry about it. You're never gonna find it. It's fine. It's like could be a simulation. Does that ring true to anybody? Does that anybody like that idea?
I was furiously
As good as-
writing.
Jenny.
There was a lot of good shit there.
All right, good.
Thank you.
Thanks, Elon.
So, do you guys want to know something that I learned today? You know the song Ghetto Superstar?
Yeah, superstar.
That is what you are.
The
That
one
is
that Brian said he wanted to play at my funeral for some reason.
yes. They were singing that song at work today, and they were singing the Ghetto Superstar chorus, and I finished it with the Islands in the Stream chorus, and I said that would be a great mashup. And Brian, our friend of the show, Brian said it is a remake of that song.
That is a mashup.
I had no fucking idea. For my entire life, I have not known that until today, and I thought I discovered it.
Wow, you thought you had something. You're gonna make a viral video. You're gonna smash those together.
God, I would look like such a fucking fool if I did that.
You just download the song and then just put it up on a YouTube video. Just hit play. There's my mashup.
I should do it. I should do it for Verbal Assault channel.
You should.
I have one other super quick funny story. I encountered a man today at work, a customer, and the first thing he says to me is, and he's looking me in the eyes and he says, "You like to huff gasoline?"
What?
What?
I said, "Not particularly." And he said something about putting Goo Gone on his boat and huffing gasoline.
He just willingly just started a conversation off like that.
Yes. You like to huff gasoline?
So he's huffing Goo Gone and gasoline.
Yeah. And he sure looked like it.
Wow.
As they do.
Well, that was my day.
Becca, you also are neglecting to bring up how your massage guy from before stalked you to work.
What?
Oh,
Oh.
I
Okay.
never heard what happened. After.
Yeah, right?
Well, you are about to. So I come in to our place of work and I see an order for a customer, and the name on that order is the name of the man who last touched me for money, my massage man. And
This was only the most recent one, by the way.
Right. It's that whole frequency of permission thing.
Right.
So I'm flipping the fuck out because I know he has no reason to be on this part of town other than the fact that the last time I went to his establishment, I was wearing my work uniform.
Wait a minute, hold on. One thing to clear up: how do you know where he lives, and how do you know he wouldn't be on that side of town?
It has come up because it's 90 minutes. It's more uncomfortable if it's silent. So we've talked a lot while he's touched me for money. And and so I know because of that conversation, I know that he lives where Steve-O and Brad used to live.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's a long
That's a
way to go
far
for pizza.
drive. Yeah, it sure is. And so I'm flipping out. I'm like, what the fuck? He is seriously coming in here to get pizza? Whatever. Anyway, I'm freaking out and I'm telling everybody in the store when he comes in, I'm hiding. I cannot be around him. And Will goes, "Oh, that dude canceled his order 30 minutes ago."
There you go. He got cold feet. That's what it was.
So that was
Oh,
it.
man.
Okay, so
Nothing good.
you made the
Yeah, I
mistake
didn't know how
of
it ended.
telling him where you work.
I showed him I was wearing my work uniform.
Well, it could be any.
any Domino.
Any in the country.
Could be any KFC.
Yeah.
Could be, yeah.
Not the one in Kimball, Tennessee, unfortunately, that burned down last night.
Aw.
What?
There's a KFC like pretty close to one of the other stores in our group.
What?
A KFC burned down to the ground
No.
last night. You could smell it for miles.
Even the
I
extra
knew-
crispies?
I knew I,
I bet
heard
it
the
smelled
Colonel's.
so good.
I did. I knew I heard Taps playing. Another one of Colonel's soldiers lost. I need a minute. Yeah, I got a sound for that. All right,
I
Brad's
was
back.
going to see how
There's
far you
Brad.
wanted to take it.
I was worried I couldn't stay in key, or the same key anyway.
Yeah, I was worried too.
When there's no other music, it's kind of tough.
How you doing, Steve-O?
I'm pretty good. Pretty good. Yeah. I had a good day today. One of our drivers called out, so there was only 2 drivers for lunch, and
Nice.
people outside of the driver world and pizza, they don't understand how bad it can be when there's too many drivers working all day. It's hard to make money, but had a good day. Wait, I do have kind of some news, but there's nothing that has come of it yet. I'm just a little bit excited. There is a group or a page that I follow on Facebook. It's one of a few. There's a handful of these Space Coast launch pages. They just promote different launch things. Well, one of them made a post on Wednesday. I didn't realize it until someone pointed out to me on Twitter today. But they were looking for a photographer for their page, and they would be able to handle the media credentials in exchange for just doing it for free as a volunteer. And so I shot him a message. I said, I moved here for this sort of opportunity. I don't know exactly what you're looking for, but if you'll have me, then I'll be glad to do whatever you need.
So who is this, and why are you giving it up for free?
It's called Space Coast Launch something. I can't remember. I'll know more if I end up landing this. But they were looking for a volunteer to be the official photographer for their page, and it's not a scrub page. They've got like 800 or 900 people on there or whatever.
Yeah,
And
but people will pay you to touch you. I mean, can't we get somebody to throw some coin at you or something?
I don't
What
need.
I
I
mean
don't
is-
need that.
What I mean is, why are you doing this for them? Just
Why
because
would I
they
do it?
can possibly get you credentials to get into places? I mean,
Yeah.
are you still going to be able to do your own shit and have your own?
Well, I mean, all that'll be discussed, but that would be
Yeah.
one of my things. Obviously, I still own my photos.
Yeah.
If that wasn't the case, then it wouldn't work. But
then you'll make it clear.
I mean, I would just say, well, if I don't retain the rights to my own photos, then it can't work. But and I would also clarify, I need the kind of credentials that's going to allow me to place my camera at the pad. That's the requirement. I'll do anything else. I mean, I want to get behind the gate. I want to have the freedom to go to the press site and all that kind of stuff. But the main thing is I want to be able to set up a remote camera at the launch pad. So they said, they're really busy. They're going to get back with me tomorrow, and we'll talk about it. So I said, that's fine. I am working all day, so if I don't get back to you right away, just be patient. But I don't know. Could be a good opportunity. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's
Oh.
Brad.
Cool. Well,
How you doing, Brad?
Fuck Windows 10. First of all, fuck
Yeah.
software
yeah.
updates.
Yeah.
Fuck those two.
Yeah.
I'm doing okay. I had a weird thing happen to me while I was walking into work. So walking into work, and this lady's in the parking lot. She's looking around. She's got that John Travolta putting her hands up and kind of, then going over here and looking over there.
You probably see that a lot in a tourist town.
Yeah, but you're most of the time you recognize it instantly, and you're like, well, they're tourists. They'll fucking figure it out. Anyway, this old lady's like, excuse me, can you help me find my car? And first off, odd request. Second off, so last night I ate an edible and decided I was going to watch stuff off of Everything is Terrible, the 90s nostalgia shows on VHS and stuff. And the thing I watched was Stranger Danger with this dumbass alien who came from another planet to teach kids about stranger danger, and this fucking alien manages to get kidnapped left and right just doing stupid shit. Anyway,
You felt like that alien?
I
You were
was like,
thinking about
this
it?
is stranger danger. This is what they're talking about. Excuse me, can you help me find my car, mister? Yeah, that sounds like a stranger danger line. Anyway, I don't know. This lady, I think, was just out of it. She was like, it's a silver Nissan Altima, and I just looked, and like 2 cars further from where she was standing
God.
was her car. And I'm like, is that the one right there? 2 cars away. I didn't say that part. She's like, oh my God, yes, thank you. And I'm like, cool, I have to go to work now. Bye.
I'm gonna get well away from you when you start driving this car.
Yeah, be careful down there, guys. I was telling people at work about it, and I was telling this one girl, and she was like, wait, did she have this shirt on? I'm like, yes, that's her. And she was like, yeah, she was fucking weird. So, yeah.
Just weird, not drunk.
Being weird all
Yeah,
over
I
town.
thought she was drunk, but it was like 3:00 in the afternoon, and I know.
You go
there's
to
a lot
bed
more-
at 5. That's not early.
Right.
There's a lot more old people down here that start drinking earlier, but
Yeah.
that still seems a little early for. First off, if there's a drunk lady, normally she's not drinking by herself. That's like a dude move. I've never seen a lady, except for the time we went to Rusty's, drinking by herself and then be super hammer drunk.
You're about to see something real special. I'll be there in 2 weeks.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Well, if we go to Rusty's, and don't hit on Steve-O or he'll have none of it.
Yeah. Don't.
Can do.
Yeah. What was it? She tried sparking up conversation by talking about how disgusting someone was because they were.
Oh yeah, she was like, "Did you just see that tranny or something?" And I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
and yeah. Well, I don't
So
remember.
people are clear, not Becca. This is
not
somebody
Becca. This is
Yeah,
not Becca."
yeah, not Becca. No, it was just she had no problem voicing her disgust for a trans person that she saw.
I'm sorry.
I didn't like it.
What did Dave? What happened to Dave? He looked like he was in pain.
Yeah, you did.
I whacked my knuckle on the mic and
Oh.
it really hurt. I mean, I was like, oh, and I was trying to be quiet. The show must go on.
No pain's going
He's like
unnoticed.
those
on
darn
this show.
transsexuals trying to get some seafood. Oh my goodness!
And I got there's folks in chat, and there's a shameless plug for No More Popcorn.
Yeah, Dragon wanted to say that Dragon is a girl, right? I think, if I remember
They're
right.
non-binary.
Who knows?
Oh, I thought
Address
you
them
knew.
as a non-binary.
Yeah, that's not important, but yeah.
Oh,
Everyone's a girl to Dave.
Dragon has watched No More Popcorn. Thank you, Dragon. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that.
Oh,
I love
meant,
Dom's new picture. It's so
I-
good.
Oh yeah.
I didn't mean for that to sound like I appreciate you watching No More Popcorn. She said, "Yes, I'm female," and I was saying, "Thank you for that," instead of ragging on me for assuming.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I watched it too
Yeah.
the other night. I was going to bed, and I usually like to start some YouTube video as I'm falling asleep, and I was like, oh, you know what? I haven't watched the No More Popcorn video yet, so got it going.
Yeah.
It looks good, man.
Which one
Yeah.
did you do? The newest one?
I'm not sure. It was it would have been probably like Monday or Tuesday night that I watched it, and probably the most recent one, whenever that was. I don't know when you put one out again.
Okay. Yeah.
Street
Yeah.
trash then.
Yeah,
Street
Street
Trash.
Trash.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that. Oh yeah, I wanted to.
I like the graphic one. I watched that one. I actually went through and watched all of them and gave them like because I noticed that maybe I was, I thought Nathan had jabbed me about not doing it, so I wanted to make sure that I got it done.
I mean,
So to support.
I wanted to pull
that
up.
last thing was awesome with the heads and all that stuff that you guys did.
Yeah, I'm
That was
pulling it
really
up
good,
so people in Mixer and on YouTube can
Stuff's
see it. It
professional.
looks really good, dude.
Hey, what software are you using? Because I need to do that kind of stuff.
I'm a little. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Answer the question. Is
I
it a real
use
question?
I use a free program called GIMP.
Yes, that's the
It's
word.
good.
I like.
It takes a little getting used to if you've used something like Photoshop before because there's some differences, but
Kinda
it's really
gimpy.
good. Yeah, a little bit. It's really good though.
I'm a little insulted that you didn't ask me to make the fake blood.
I used your recipe.
Oh, you
Oh.
did?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Close
So that's
enough.
period. That's period blood in the bowls then.
Yeah. So gross.
I said that to Patrick, and he started to throw up actually when I
Yeah.
had it mixed.
Yeah, it was disgusting. And then getting it out was terrible. It was all in my beard and all over my clothes. So gross.
I seriously have not laughed that hard because in ever because Patrick, we took the picture in their extra room, and he had the bucket, and I was just pouring it all over the top of his head and just down the
Yeah.
side. And they had gone out the bottom of the bucket and was going down his shirt and
Oh
started
yeah.
getting
Yeah.
So we're
And
like,
then my
"Well, we got to get to the kitchen. What are we doing? This is dumb." And then we get in there, and he gets in the sink, and I just hear Patrick's just like,
yeah.
"Ugh,
It's like,
ugh."
I've heard that before.
Yeah. I got cramps in both. It hurt. I had cramps on both sides, and I'm trying not to laugh loud because Rachel's sleeping in the other room, and it's just in pain, and I can't stop laughing, but it causes more pain to laugh, and I'm just like, I'm in this. It was so funny. Yeah, had a lot of fun doing that.
yeah.
That was about that Photoshop. That was about 5 hours.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say
Wow.
it looked like these like the buckets were cut out like individually because that's just like I don't know if you took the picture of the table. I'm assuming it's a
No,
wall. It's
I
actually a
just-
wall,
I just
but
I just took that off Google. I
yeah,
found that.
it is not easy to cut out. I mean, if you have like a good like a green screen or something it's a little easier. But yeah, cutting that shit out is not easy.
No, you just have to. It is easy. You just have to know how to do it.
Oh.
Cutting
that shit out is really easy.
Yeah,
it only takes
It still
5
took a long
hours.
time.
Yeah.
It still took a long time because
I look forward to just picking it up then.
because there was huge gaps where because the bucket was too small. So when we cut it, it was there was a space like that.
Yeah.
But I had taken a picture of the bucket beforehand, and then I pieced that in. But the color from the lighting, the color was wrong, so I had to paint in to get it to look right.
Yeah.
And then I was able to just paste in the wood paneling and then over behind it, and then paint in the blood soaking in, and did some filter stuff. And I also, you could look at our faces. I made us more pale and kind of made our lips slightly blue.
Yeah, especially like around your eyes. Like
yeah, and actually a lot of Brian's hair, I actually painted that in too because it came out when I had to put the back of the bucket in. So I did a lot of that too. So that added a lot of time onto it. But.
Can you share your screen, Steve-O, so we can see it?
Yeah.
I want to look at it again on a bigger screen than my phone.
Oh, shit. I didn't hit the actual share button.
There we go.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Oh, it's great. It's so great.
Yeah. That period blood looks fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
It's good, but it's not Becca good.
It's not the Becca's best.
I make some great period blood.
Buckets of it.
I also painted in, you could see on mine and Brian's, like the pool of blood kind of in the bottom of the bucket, added that in. Yeah.
Yeah, good
Pretty
stuff,
happy.
man. Yeah, good stuff.
Thanks.
Y'all go check out No More Popcorn.
Yeah, check it out. It definitely ended up better than I thought it would. When I started, I was like, oh, man.
Oh, wait, have we even talked about what y'all are doing? What the show is?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Not today, but we have.
Okay, it's movie reviews, y'all.
Yeah.
But see, we just don't. We will talk about some newer things. Like our first one was about John Wick 3 because it's John Wick 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But we're doing more of sort of bizarre, overlooked movies from the past. A lot of amazing stuff that people have never heard of. So that's kind of where we're going with it. So.
I concur. I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Heard of what?
Any of the other
Street Wrecker,
Brain Damage, Mutant Girl Squad, all new classics.
Yes.
I have something I want to read. If I find my phone, here it is.
Wow, that was very fast.
I knew it was right next to me. This is one of those that I find and then I keep on the back burner until the day is right, and today is the day. A young man that is being hospitalized at the Central Florida Regional Hospital is suffering from an advanced condition that doctors have determined to be Hansen's disease or leprosy, an affliction that has seen a dramatic revival in southern states where 9 cases have already been diagnosed in Florida alone since last October, according to the Department of Health. Doctors interrogated family members after the disease had proliferated to the young man's pubic area, an uncommon area of the body for the affliction to spread. At first glance, we tried to treat the affliction as an STD, but we soon realized our treatments were unsuccessful and the disease kept spreading more intensely until family members decided to tell us about the family animal.
Whoa.
Explains Dr. James H. Potter. The family was afraid of legal consequences for the boy, but I'm glad they told us the entire story so that we can now treat him properly and prevent further spread of the disease, he added. The family member's intervention might have saved the man's life, believed experts. Just to be clear, they say man. He is 22 years old, but I'm guessing he's a little, I don't know, he's underdeveloped maybe?
Yeah.
Timothy always had a hard time interacting with others and making friends. He was always so keen about animals, so we decided to let him keep the animal after he had caught him last spring, admits Jane Whitestone, mother of the 22-year-old man. He was very fond of the little critter. He would spend all his time with him, even sleeping with him at night. We knew it was a bit awkward for a 22-year-old to spend so much time with an armadillo.
Yeah!
Oh my god!
But he looks...
Oh my god! Oh wait!
So...
Oh wait!
He looks so happy. We never said a thing.
Only chat will understand.
Right?
Oh my God! Fucking Brad called it in the chat.
Did he?
Wow.
Yeah. He bet $1.
According to the Center for Disease Control, armadillos are the only animal to carry leprosy, a bacterial disease that affects the skin and nerves. The Health Resources Service Administration has reported there are currently about 6,500 cases of disease in the U.S. What they don't say in the, and just to be clear, they don't say it in the article. I didn't want to. I like to read the article without the headline because the headline just gives it all away.
Yeah.
But yes, this guy was fucking the armadillo.
That's so nasty.
Yes.
Oh, no.
That's so.
Dillo fucker.
Yep.
Oh,
You
is
want to
that
know?
right?
You want to know how I knew that armadillos had leprosy?
How?
You
Uh,
fucked one.
Past
No,
experience?
not quite. An ex-girlfriend and I came down to Florida to Titusville about 6 years ago, something like that. And they were in one of those retirement communities where everybody has an RV, so your house is set up to have an RV right next to it to be like an
You
extension
say where
house.
everybody has an armadillo.
Well,
It's Florida.
Melissa and I, we were smoking out back of the RV because that was our bedroom, the RV. And we look over in the street. We're like, what the fuck is that thing? I'd never seen an armadillo in real life. And we just keep staring at it. And we're like, what the fuck is that? And then we were telling the grandparents later, and they're like, oh, yeah, it's an armadillo, but don't touch them. Don't mess with them. They have leprosy. And I'm like, oh, that's really fucking weird, but okay. Note to self, armadillos have leprosy. Do not touch them.
Wow.
Don't fuck with
It's
armadillos.
because they've strayed away from God.
That's why, clearly.
They have to cover their faces wherever they go and shout unclean.
Yeah, unclean. Yeah.
They get shipped off to an island.
All
They
of
live
God's
in a
animals. He's
separate
like, fuck
colony.
armadillos.
The funny thing, I was reading just about leprosy, just to get my facts straight on what it actually is, which is a severe bacterial infection. But you
It's
can
curable.
it is curable, but if it doesn't go treated, it can basically make it so you get other infections. And it is true you can like lose fingers and hands and shit from it
The Bible
because
told us
stuff
that.
just starts rotting off you. You get a wound
Yeah,
and
like it makes
doesn't
your
get-
skin fall off and shit, right?
Yeah.
And you know what's so weird is that you're bringing this up, and I play a game or something, and I've got the Science Channel running in the background, and one of the things is mysterious locations, and it was this leper colony that was an island, and it was a big story about it, and how when they finally went co-ed was right before they closed it down, and it was like, really?
They're
It was like
breaking dicks off on that island.
Yeah, wait a minute, Dave. This is what I was going to point out. Wikipedia was clear that many people consider the word leper to be derogatory, and the proper term is person with leprosy.
Oh,
Person,
Cats will get mad.
Who said that?
person.
I don't know, but I don't
That
make
was
any
in
armadillos
Wikipedia.
mad.
Oh, I thought it was Microsoft Word because it had that update where
It could, yeah, could have
changes
been.
what you say.
So it's like, how does one get leprosy without
Fucking an
contact?
armadillo.
Don't get ahead of me. Without contact of any sort with an armadillo. How do you get leprosy?
I think there are probably different places in the world where it's more common, and
places
who
where
are-
people don't wash their hands at all, and
Yeah.
they eat with one hand and
Yeah.
shit with the other, and they don't mix it up.
Some areas have more fungi than others, and some areas have more of these things than others. I mean, all it takes is a blanket full of smallpox.
That's how you take over a continent, baby.
Apparently,
Kinda
Central Florida has some leprosy coming in. How'd it get there? Oh yeah,
we
the
used to
armadillo.
see. I grew up in Gainesville, out in the woods, outside of Gainesville, and we would see armadillos in the front yard all the time. They were so cool.
Yeah.
They were huge, and they just kind of lumber along.
Yeah,
Were you ever told not to
Let me
touch
see.
them?
No, the leprosy thing, we just didn't because they looked weird. they were weird, scary animals. We were little kids.
I've touched them. I've told
Yeah,
you
we
guys
know.
about the time. I mean, for
You had
anybody
sex
that's
with an armadillo.
anybody that's never listened to the show,
That's a social.
I used to do some bad things when I was a kid.
No, you
I
were
was-
doing
I
a
was-
service.
I was led
You
by
were
my
doing
father.
service.
Steve used to
We
go
like to
for
have
fun.
fun out in the woods, but our kind of fun was not the kind of fun that I would have these days. Anyway, we're bow hunting. It was archery season, and we hadn't shot anything, and we're just hanging out by the truck. And this armadillo comes wandering out of the bushes down the road from us, probably, I don't know, 30 yards from us. And Dad's like, target practice. He's like, but use your practice tip. I don't want you wasting one of your broadheads on an armadillo. And so I
just heard it a lot. Don't kill it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So make it suffer. Don't kill it outright.
You see it wiggling, you did good, kid.
Well, you guys will be proud because I reared back, I pulled my string back, and I released, and it went literally in one ear and out the other. It went straight through its ears. And it started doing the wiggle and jump and wiggle and jump.
So you're saying like its ears are sticking up?
Yeah, and
so not through its head, just through its ears.
No, it was through its head. It was through its ears. Yeah, it was through its ear holes, and it had to have killed it.
I'm laughing.
It had to have killed it.
No,
but
that would have been hilarious if it had been just up here, just flopping around.
Just like trying to shake it off.
Yeah, right through the head.
Right through the head, man. I couldn't believe it. I mean, it was a good 30 yards away.
Are you really Johnny?
Maybe. I should start telling these.
Does that come with any legal liability?
Yeah. But then that led to me touching it because I, of course, got my arrow back, but I grabbed it by the tail and tossed it in the bushes.
Then you mind fucked the shit out of that armadillo.
Yeah.
So it was dead.
It had to be dead. I mean, it definitely felt dead when I picked it up, but it did its typical anything that you shoot in the head, unless it, I guess if you hit it just right, then it'll just plop down. But a lot of things, it's still got nerve endings going, and its whole body starts gyrating and jumping up and up and
like
down.
It's got the Holy Ghost on it.
Yeah.
It's got the Holy Ghost on it.
And if it had been listening to the Holy Ghost all these years and accepting the Lord into its heart, maybe it wouldn't have leprosy.
You should have grabbed your Bible and just started screaming at its quivering
This is
Fallout
your
4
fault!
death body. Corinthians 4, chapter 6.
I saw more of those.
Armadillos.
I saw more of those street preachers again a couple days ago. Just now, it wasn't just one on a corner. There was like 3 of them
On the
I
same
feel
corner?
like No, different place.
Oh.
Different place. I didn't mention that before on the podcast.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
They're
Yeah, it was-
stalking you.
2 with signs. 2 with big signs. Just
With way too much shit written on them for you to pick out any one good.
yeah. It wasn't
tidbit.
anything funny or crazy. It was just your basic Jesus love kind of thing. I just remember the guy with the sign. I made eye contact because I was going by him pretty slowly, and he had this big smile on his face that was like, I don't know. It was like, I know that I know that you think I'm stupid kind of look. Like he was looking at me and was like, I know what you're thinking right now. I look stupid. And then right past him was the same guy that was on the corner that just has his Bible open and is just shouting
Oh, yeah,
as
the
loud
soapbox.
as he can.
Soapbox
Yeah.
guy.
But that was fun.
So, guys, if you get into a fight on Twitter and you get blocked, does that mean you won?
I didn't block you.
Maybe.
Listen,
Yeah, if Steve
We-
blocks you, you won.
we did not have a fight on Twitter.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I won, whatever it
Well,
was.
this was a fight. You've been on Twitter, actually using Twitter for like a day.
Yes, today I became active on Twitter.
Officially active.
Yes, and I still don't quite understand how it all works. I don't understand why things end up
I know what you
being
mean.
placed where they are.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But I did my best, and I just wanted to read this to you. It was a story that was, I guess, trending on Twitter today, and it was just this girl, as far as I can tell, just some random girl, probably not a huge amount of followers or anything, but she posted this story, and it took the fuck off. And got it, at the time that I screenshot this,
Screenshot is the correct.
Screenshot.
Yeah, that's definitely the correct.
it already had 14,000 retweets, and it this girl, as far as I can tell, it didn't seem like she was famous before this. So the story goes, I was declined a straw at a restaurant this morning. The waitress had one in her apron. As she poured the water, I said, "Excuse me, miss, can I have a straw?" She said, "We can't just give them out," and walked away.
We can't just
Okay.
give them away. What do you think this is? A restaurant?
Teased you with them. This is my personal straw.
Starting off with just this bit of the story, I would say that they're somewhere in like a coastal
California.
It's got to be a coastal area, in my opinion, so far in the story. It goes on. My dad flagged her down, and when she returned to the table, I asked again, "Miss, I'm sorry, but I really do need a straw." She then said, "We only give them to the elderly." I explained that I am disabled, that I have degenerative joint disease in my spine, and picking up a full glass to drink causes muscle spasms under my shoulder blades. She met that with, "You seemed fine when you walked in."
Oh,
Wow, the server loves shooting themselves in the foot. But continue.
See, the great thing about this story is how at first you think she's the hero.
Never, I know, you never think that.
No.
5 minutes later, still no straw. Finally, I ask for a manager, and the waitress looks pissed as hell but goes to get them. The manager heard me out, handed me a straw, then turned to the waitress and whispered, "People like that aren't worth it. Just give them the damn straw."
Oh, Jesus Christ. You wait till you're out of earshot before you have those conversations, you dumb fucks. Anyway.
Yeah, that's happened to me too before at a dentist. I probably told the story on the podcast.
You asked for a straw, and they said we give it.
She was drooling everywhere.
Swallow it.
It's too long of a story to
I need to
interject.
spit. I need to spit.
Excuse me. Okay. I was so frustrated. I just started crying. My dad got up and followed the manager back to the front, where he then let her have it. He had let me handle it up until that point because I had asked him to. And while he was shouting, people were turning to look at me. He was literally just shouting, "Her spine is deteriorating. She uses crutches most days, you moron." And I was so embarrassed. I got up and walked out of the restaurant, and my mom followed me. We hadn't even ordered yet, so we just left. I'm still really upset. Straw ban is bullshit. So that's where I stopped reading, because they live in a place where straws are banned. For what reason? For the reason that they are trying to decrease the plastic straw footprint in the ocean, I suppose. Am I right?
right.
Straw proof.
So
Sounds good.
Well, we say around here, but we give out paper straws and give no fucks about giving those out.
Right. Okay. So yes, there's all these different variables that go into this at this point. But the only thing I could think of in my head is right now, you are saying the straw ban is bullshit because you couldn't get a straw. Right. Now, I will say that it is terrible the way they spoke to her. If it should have been handled much differently. But the fact of the matter is, she needs a straw. She has to have one. Why not bring one with you? Because people
she's used to being able to get them. This is probably the first time she's ever been declined a straw.
Well, she said the straw ban is bullshit. She knew
right.
about
She closed her argument with straw ban is bullshit. That you should not have closed your argument with that. I don't know if that was the end of her thread or whatever.
It's not. That's just where I stopped reading, because at that point she became the villain of the story to me. So I'm just thinking about all this. Like, people with diabetes have their insulin on them. People that need an inhaler have to carry that on them. People that are in a wheelchair have to have that with them. Like,
but people that drink water to survive don't necessarily take their water with them because they assume that the water is going to be there.
Right, but still, the reason that I'm getting so mad already is because I did end up saying some things to people.
Did you get a lot of likes?
No, I did
Call her
not.
the N-word.
I did not. I got maybe 2, and like the other girl didn't get many either. She got maybe 4. It wasn't the main girl; it was a different girl that I was fighting with. But I wouldn't say fighting. It was
Becca, turn back now. Get off of Twitter.
No, it's not.
Turn back now. I'm telling you.
Just be careful
from experience.
When
just get out now while you can.
Just
get out
yeah, definitely be careful. I mean, it's not that it matters, but you know, if you care, then be careful about what arguments you get into.
Yes.
Right.
So, just keep scrolling is usually the best way to go about it.
Crosstown Bino keeps that feed clean, man.
Yeah. I try not to get into any like
it's only game
political
stuff.
or whatever.
But
I get
listen,
into it with a retard every now and then.
But yeah, but you know, that's you, man. It's that is
Yeah,
like
that is verbal
it's,
Nathan.
It's
Yeah,
That's your
It's my
thing.
it's my brand.
yeah.
Yeah, that's your thing. I mean, but I just
There-
want video games.
there's nothing I said on Twitter today that I would not have said and probably have not already said on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no reason for me to filter what I would say on the podcast on my Twitter account that is called Game Master Becca. And all I talk about in my bio is verbal assault.
Right.
I don't need to change the way I talk.
No.
I am who I am, and I'm going to talk. If I see something, obviously, I didn't expect to get anything out of this. I didn't expect to change anybody's mind, because when people talk to me the way they talked to me today, you can already tell they're not going to change their mind.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, like, I was reading through a couple of the comments and I saw somebody say this is bigger than straws, and that immediately just put an image in my head of the sea turtle with the straw stuck in its nose.
Mm-hmm.
And I do understand that this is
It's
bigger
a
than
snorkel.
straws. That's back-to-back terrible sea animal death jokes that we've done on the podcast.
I'm just not glad, but I find it humorous. You almost killed Dave. with that comment.
God damn! I had an ice cube in my mouth too, and I didn't want to. I didn't know what to do with it. Does it
God,
go
what if
out?
he had sucked it into his esophagus and we just watched him choke
on an
You
ice
know, maybe
cube?
if somebody gave Dave a straw, maybe he wouldn't be choking on ice.
That's right.
Wouldn't
We'd
it
have, to
suck
put a,
That's
we'd
right.
have to put a ban on ice at that point.
choking on an ice cube
Yeah.
when in 5 minutes it will melt and you would not have choked, and you're dead now.
It's a
All right.
hilarious,
Taps.
hilarious death.
Yeah.
Dragon gave me a rest in peace. I'm dead. That's funny. That's
Okay,
You
I
just
really-
like you're choking to death on an ice cube and you have a fucking blow dryer. And you're you're just waiting and waiting.
I don't want to lose my train of thought on this.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, I have
Sorry.
a really funny joke, but go ahead. I'm gonna tell chat.
Tell chat.
I feel like such a monster taking a good joke away from you to talk about fucking.
It's okay. I'll put it in
hold
chat.
on.
He's
Now,
putting it in chat.
let's be clear. Becca, hold on to your train of thought, but one of the rules on verbal assault, even though it's never been said, I'll say it now. The joke always comes first.
Yes.
The jokes always come first.
All right. Well, thank you, Nathan. I'll just go ahead and say it. Dave tries to blow dry his throat to get the ice cube, and he dies from choking, but his throat's all red. So his wife comes home and thinks he died from autoerotic asphyxiation.
Yes.
That's good.
And
And she
that's what
said-
they tell everybody.
Because there's no other evidence. There's no other evidence. The ice cube has
That's
melted.
right.
How did he get the rope off his neck? He's good.
It's like the ice bullet.
And Rochelle just
Right.
says, "How did you hear about this stuff?" And you from the grave go, "The guys."
Yes, on the
Guys.
podcast.
All this sick, twisted shit I learned from the show.
All right, Becca, is the train still on the tracks?
The
Are you
train's-
still there.
The
Okay.
depressing train is back on its
Yeah,
track. No
okay,
more
good.
jokes. All right. So, like I said, the image of that sea turtle with the straw in its nose immediately popped into my head. And I decided that was when I was going to start commenting. And I said, yes, this is bigger than straws. And I put it in quotation marks because they are in a place where there is a ban on straws. That place is already trying to do its part to help eliminate some of the trash that is killing helpless sea animals. And these people are arguing about how that restaurant was being disabled-ist. What is the word that they use?
Ableist.
Ableist, yeah.
Ableist.
So we're ableist, and I got called an ableist several times because of my
Oh
argument.
no.
Congratulations. You got called something on Twitter.
Yeah, she got that. I mean, I've never been called an
I don't
ableist.
think,
I
I don't
feel.
think I've been called anything on Twitter.
Yeah, I'm disappointed.
I'm happy for you, Becca.
My
You got
first
haters
day,
now.
my first day in the action.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to read this entire thread too, but I am going to point out some of the really great things I said. So
I knew that's where this was going.
no, I just want to get the highlights from what they said.
Let me
and what I
pick
said.
out some highlights. Chapter 1, me.
Chapter 2.
My
Me
hair.
again.
Okay, so I said, you're right, it's bigger than straws. And I said, do you go to a library and expect them to give you glasses? If you need them, you don't
That's
expect
pretty good.
people.
That's a pretty good point.
They redirect you to the large print section.
The Starbucks with the rack of glasses.
These are
I don't-
spoilers.
But it's still go ahead, Nathan.
I was gonna say I hate to kill your whole thing right away, but if libraries for decades had been giving out glasses to everybody that wanted one as soon as they walked in, I mean, you might still expect to get glasses.
But if there was a ban on glasses,
now, granted, if those glasses were just killing sea turtles,
yeah, well,
then
disposable glasses, they're walking out just chucking them in the street. They end up in the waterways.
Get stuck on the turtle's face, and
all of a sudden they can see better.
It can read now.
It's forever doomed to look through life with rose-colored glasses.
That's not a bad way to live, you know.
Now, if we start giving out the verbal assault sunglasses, people will start throwing them out the window because they got 20 of them.
We'll see sea turtles wearing those eventually.
Like, what is this? What is this? A roll of film? I don't know.
Well, Nathan, thank you for completely ruining at the beginning, like you said, everywhere I was going with it.
No, please go on.
Great job, Nathan.
Okay, so I said you are disabled and I am sorry, but it isn't anybody's responsibility to accommodate your personal needs other than what they're there to do. Like if you go to a restaurant, they're going to accommodate your need for food and
your need to get into the building is required.
Most places have the ramp.
Gotta have the ramp.
Hey, ableist, I bet you don't believe in wheelchair ramps either. Bet you park in the handicap spot.
Well,
she's not even.
Were you talking to me? I was reading. Sorry.
Go on, ableist.
So the first reply to that was, do you expect people in wheelchairs to carry their own ramps? The point of this thread is that people with disabilities are treated as lesser people. And sure, I'm sure some of them are, just like there are other groups of people that are treated as lesser people. I'm sure that is a thing that happens. That's Nathan using the handicap bathroom stall at Barnes & Noble and then getting called out for
him
it.
Getting dealt with proper.
Yeah.
That man put
by
me in
proper busybody.
That's I don't think that's what it is about. I don't think it's about what did you say it was about?
That
about
thing.
Straws.
What about that thing?
They've got those portable straws that fold up and shit on.
Oh
Amazon
yeah, no,
for less than $10.
This is just it's about the waitress did not recognize the disability and decided to stay the course once told that, oh, by the way, I have something that should allow me to get the damn straw off your apron. And then the waitress is a dipshit and can't say, oh, I'm sorry, let me give you a straw. She has to dig her heels in and stay the course.
Yeah, it's just like taking one situation, we're going to blow it up into this big war about ableism and shit. When, I mean, the whole point of the law is the environmental issue. That's not even, the point is not fucking whatever handicap issue. It's really just about not having, plastic in the ocean.
I think it's a really good example of people's just undying desire to turn something that they experienced into a highly politicized point. Right. This wasn't a good opportunity to do that. It just wasn't. The people at the restaurant were assholes, and they have terrible customer service. And it's not. I don't think it was an anti-disability thing at all. I think they're assholes. That's it.
I've got another work story that happened today that kind of pertains to this.
Well, we'll get to that when I'm finished talking about my sick burn.
Chapter 3 is still on fire.
Oh, we got more sick burns to come.
Well,
do we need some sunblock for the sick burns that are coming our way?
Yeah, because sunblock typically protects you from the burns.
Sick burn.
Well, all I've got is this Christmas themed shot glass that says Jolly Holly Hammered. Holly Jolly Hammered.
It's good.
Well,
Maybe
That'll do.
That'll
Hey,
protect
Christmas
me.
in July, in June.
so this bitch calls me a young liberal.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Listen, bitch.
Yeah, and she said that I am being
Intriguing.
conned by capitalism.
Oh,
Huh.
You're being conned by big paper straw.
Yeah.
Yeah, by Big Straw. Well, it went around and around, and I kept bringing up the point that people that know they need something and that thing is banned at the place they're going, they should probably procure their own. And
Like weed at a concert.
right? And she says straws are needed for some people to live. What part of that is so difficult for you to understand? And I said, the part where they can't get them for themselves. And then she blocked me.
Oh.
That's where you want. That's
had
where
her
you won.
checkmate.
Yeah.
You won
You
it.
Yeah.
checkmated her.
Yeah.
I won a Twitter fight, my first one.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Dragon concurred much earlier in chat that a blocking is a win.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Wow.
I can't wait to see what tomorrow will bring. I'm gonna fucking turn on notifications for Becca.
Yeah. I mean, it's worth it now.
She's
I may
good.
not respond, but
Fun
Becca's
fact.
just like screaming at feminists
Yeah.
and fucking going after Antifa and all this shit. It'll be great.
She could
Well-
just tweet Orange Man bad and get all the hate in the world. Or Orange
then
Man good.
Yeah, just tweet both, like one every other day.
Yeah.
really confuse them. Throw them off their game.
Well, the real fight was between me and Steve-O on Twitter today, actually.
Yes.
I found this I guess you'd call it a meme, maybe an informational photograph that said, I can't believe that I never noticed in Super Mario 64 that the Song of Storms, which is from Ocarina of Time, is displayed on a picture in that big like round room that's just like, you know what I'm talking about?
It's like the third tier of the game. It leads up to the last time you fight Bowser, I think, or maybe the second to last. And there's that set of stairs that spirals up, I think, is where it is. And then right next to it, there's a painting with some stars on it. And the stars, I guess, is the pattern that you push to
play the Song of Storms in Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
And so that is displayed in the castle in Super Mario 64. And I retweeted that and I said, I thought I knew who I was. And Steve-O said to me, did you, or what did you say?
You spent too much time in Hyrule and not enough time in the Mushroom Kingdom.
And you said, "Excuse me."
Yeah,
The first
actually,
game I ever beat was
That's
Mario
pretty close to what she
64.
said.
Is that my Twitter voice?
That's your
Yeah.
Twitter voice.
It is for that tweet.
Oh, no. Oh, no. And he said, did you get all 120 stars? And I said, sure enough, because I did. I will have to say it was with the help of the internet. I didn't know about the final one, but I found out about it and I did it. And then he said, well, did you do it 3 times?
Only because I've done it 3 times.
I knew that's why you said that, because you're trying to one-up me. So you win. You fucking win. I have to block you now.
Hell yeah. I want to get blocked.
I got it. I got you.
Brad
Y'all
just
want-
had
Y'all
a...
want to hear a story?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to preface this with this is a story. Take it how you will. So at work, the morning shift, since it's not as busy as the night shift, they don't really have hard sections. They have to rotate certain areas of the restaurant. And these 2 couples came in. One sat down a little bit before the other. We'll call the first one that sat down table number 1. Now, table number 1 is a black couple. Table number 2 is a white couple. Table number 1 sat in one area of rotation, so it's different people responsible for it. And the table number 2 sat in a different area. Well, table number 1 and table number 2 get greeted, which is just handing them menus and saying somebody will be with you in a moment. Well, they tell the first group, hey, you got a table, and then they go start giving service to the table number 2.
Mhm.
You with me so far?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so table number 1 sits around for a while. The 2 servers in charge of going over there didn't go over there or get there in time or whatever their bullshit reason was. So table number 1 gets up and leaves, and when they're walking out, they manage to say something to a manager, and I think the race card got thrown, which is understandable, and that's not the story. Table number 2 was just so upset that table number 1 didn't get service fast enough that they couldn't eat there anymore. They were just so upset, and yeah,
They felt the pain on behalf of the harmed minority.
yes, yeah. So
They were the white people that took on their pain.
Now, did they do that after the race card was pulled?
I don't think they knew that the race card was pulled by what I was told the story. Because when I first got to work today, one of my buddies comes over and says, "Hey, we had a walkout earlier today, so don't fuck up because they're already in a bad mood. I guess the race card got pulled." And then another server came by and heard that he was telling me about it, and he was like, "Now don't you go telling him that me and so and so Arnie, we'll say Arnie. No one's named Arnie. Me and Arnie were responsible for that." And I was like, he didn't say anything about you two, but now that you say that, I think it's you two that are responsible for it.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna ask, like, do you think it was just like honest mistake or shitty customer service, or do you think it was they were just avoiding him?
For one of the servers involved, I doubt it because he's pretty money hungry, and if I tell him I don't want a table, he'll take it. Just because I don't feel like having a table I'm about to get cut or I'm too busy or one reason or another. So he's thirsty for money. I don't think it was him. The other one, he used to be an OG. If you understand my terminology in at that restaurant, he used to be OG, but now he bitches and complains, and now he's just like, "Oh my god, I have to do work. This sucks." Anyway, yeah. So it could be that, but also the one I was just making fun of, he went home right away. The other one was supposed to be on a double, and he got sent home, quote unquote, due to bad weather.
What?
Yeah, and it sprinkled for a little bit today, and the weather yesterday was much, much worse.
Yeah, I didn't think it rained at all.
Yeah, it barely rained a little bit in the port today, but nothing. A barely drizzle. Yeah. Anyway, he got sent home. But if you have a table walk out and they were sitting in your section, you didn't take care of them, your ass is already in big fucking trouble, no matter who or how many people it is.
Yeah.
Your ass is in fucking trouble. So that was a fun story, having the white couple be offended for the sake of another raced couple, just for the sake of them being offended for them.
I mean, it depends on where they're coming from. You know, if they were doing it to make themselves look good, then of course I hate them. But I mean, it sucks that they, that they ignored that table.
Yeah, it sucks.
I mean,
yeah,
that's pretty shitty.
That doesn't paint the business in a very good light either.
No.
But
we'll not mention the name of the business on this episode.
Yeah,
again,
we kind of prefer you guys not tell everybody where I work.
I'm pretty sure you've mentioned it before.
Yeah, the only reason I said it is because you've said it.
Well, let's make them have to listen to the old episodes to find out the secret. No more giving out the answers.
There you go.
Let's make them have to rewind like 5 minutes.
Yeah, you gotta. I didn't say it this episode. No, I didn't.
Okay, I don't think so.
All right. No telling secrets, Steve-O and Becca specifically.
Since they're not going to be going there and spending money on seafood anymore, they can save up and take a trip to the International Space Station.
Steve-O sliding it in there. Steve-O's best segue.
I'm showing you Mixer folks some beautiful time-lapse footage taken from the International Space Station, because if you have about $52 million in your pocket, you now can take a ride to the space station per NASA. That NASA has never offered this opportunity.
NASA needs money, guys. Get out there and vote.
I'll get to that. But
Don't Trump. You want to give NASA some money.
there have been tourists on the space station, but they've all flown with Russia. Russia has allowed that to happen, and then those tourists will stay on the Russian side of the international space. I'm sure they're free to meander around, but they live on the Russian side. NASA has never been allowed to. It's just not something that they've done. But just this week, or no, it was last week, I guess, because we meant to bring it up, or I did. That they're going to start allowing private astronauts, and not only private astronauts, like commercial ventures, like companies. If you want to film an advertisement or a movie, or if you're if you have some experiments you want to run, but you want your own person to go up and do it, whatever.
You're PewDiePie.
There you go. So it's going to be roughly $50 million. Bigelow Aerospace has already signed a contract with SpaceX for up to 4 launches, which I'm trying to figure out what that means. What I think it means is probably it's like they have a certain number of passengers that they're going to be able to send, and they can take up to 4 launches to get it done. So let's say they do 2 and then 2, and then that's only 2 launches, or they do one private astronaut on each launch, and then they do 4 launches or whatever. Anyway, they have up to 4 launches that they can do to take people up there. And some of that might be with their own. Bigelow Aerospace, what they do is they have these inflatable modules, and they actually have one that's attached to the space station. You may vaguely remember seeing a picture of it that was attached a few years back, and they inflated it. It's expandable. It's not don't think of it like it's inflatable like a balloon, but it's expandable. But it works a lot like a balloon.
It's one of those scissoring domes that you get at Spencer's. With scissoring globes.
You say scissoring and Spencer's, I get real confused, Dave. You gotta elaborate.
Yeah, so you could go up to the space station and do that kind of stuff. And so you mentioned NASA is hard up for cash. They actually are not making that much off of this. It's more to help kind of subsidize commercial ventures in low Earth orbit, and but NASA will get $35,000 per day that a private citizen is up there. So, and these trips will last about a month. So anybody want to multiply 35,000 times 30? Hey Siri, 35,000 times 30. 1,050,000. So really, that's not that much, in terms of NASA's money. But it's that'll cover their costs of whatever it takes to keep you alive while you're up there. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, what sort of idea could you think of that would be really cool for a company or entity or person or something to do on the space station, other than just obviously go up there and stay and look at pretty views of the Earth?
Jerk off.
I think, a porn company should go up there and shoot a porn.
Nope, not gonna happen. Stuff like that.
Why not?
No,
like stuff. Yeah, stuff like that is already specifically not allowed. It can't.
Did they ask the president? I'm sure he'd be cool with it.
Hell yeah,
he probably would be.
Presidential order. Y'all fuck in space. First fucking in space.
I'm pretty sure they
We're the Russian whores.
We did not choose to go to the moon, but we choose to cream on the girl's face while staring at the moon.
I'm pretty sure they made that stipulation because there's been so much talk about how much money the first porn filmed in space would make.
Right.
And actually, I would not put it past Robert Bigelow to allow that on one of his free floating modules, because they have their, it's called the B330. It's 330 cubic meters worth of room. and they're going to make that into like a space hotel, but that's separate from the space station.
They're
So
gonna
that's
call it the Bigelow Fuckhouse.
well, Robert Bigelow he's like
bit of a
or
porn star himself.
I think he was the owner of like Super 8 motels or something. He's owner of a lot of hotels, or used to be the owner of a lot of hotels. That's how he got his money. So it's definitely not beyond him to
Bob Bigelow's a great porn name.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. He also
That's
believes
how
in
he
aliens.
made his millions, baby.
He also firmly believes in aliens. He has his
yeah.
own UFO story, right? Oh, you know,
Firmly.
okay, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, okay.
Firmly.
Yeah,
Use some more adjectives.
I guarantee you there's going to be some Super Bowl commercials or other kinds of commercials filmed up there. There's got to be. They're going to send probably 3 people at once. So you got a camera guy, a director, and an actor or something like that.
Why bother doing that when they can just use the vomit comet in editing?
Because you won't be able to say that it was filmed in space. The first commercials that are filmed in space are going to be a much bigger deal than the 100th commercial filmed in space. So there's going to be I think there'll be some really good commercials that come out of it, even if maybe they'll be silly or whatever. But
it's just going to be a goddamn astronaut throwing a Coca-Cola to another astronaut and saying filmed in space while
I don't think so.
shows the curve of the Earth.
I would say like a movie. Really.
Movie, yeah, that would be awesome. Yeah, get Ron Howard involved.
Yeah.
I think they should do some kind of spoof on the Moonraker scene. Does anybody watch the James Bond series Moonraker, where Jaws is out in there and they're in the moon and
they're moving
space?
like that.
Yeah, and they're trying to get James Bond. And he ends up chomping down on some kind of cake. Oh man, it's gonna be a spoof on that. Whatever the commercial is, it's gotta be a spoof on the Moonraker scene.
And there's gonna be a porn called Poon Wrecker.
I like it.
Yeah.
Sure, Poon Wrecker.
Yeah.
Yep. It could be for a towing service.
Yeah.
So you also Poon Wrecker. There you go.
Poon Wrecker.
There you go. Finally,
we did it.
Said Poon Wrecker on this show.
We've been waiting. Listeners, you've been waiting.
Name?
It finally happened.
Pour one out for that.
Pour one out for the Poon Wrecker.
Do people
did it again.
Do people on space stations, or the people that are on the space station, have any sort of defense?
Like a gun?
Yeah, like is there anything?
Space gun.
Get out of here. Do they feel the need to have something for defense?
Because there's Russians up there. Is this what you're saying?
No,
you throw them vodka and then they're your best friends.
I'm formulating a cool idea based on the answer to this question.
Guns in space don't mix.
Well, there is. I don't know if it's a rumor or if it's just known. So don't. I don't know. Maybe somebody can fact check me while I don't know. Maybe somebody in chat can look this up. I think the Russians do have at least a handgun on the Soyuz, which is the capsule that takes them up and down, because they never know where they're going to land. I mean, they have an idea of where they're supposed to land, but there's always that possibility that they could land out in the wilderness, and there could be wild animals that try to attack them. So having a gun is a good idea. They do have survival gear. That's for sure. They have survival training and survival gear for surviving out in harsh environments.
Maybe it's for space madness in case you go crazy and you want to just eat a bullet.
Yeah.
Get it over with.
And
somebody.
Go ahead. You could just open the door.
And there's rumors that the Russians bring vodka, but NASA is explicitly not allowed to have alcohol.
Of course they do.
I don't know. I don't know if it's true.
If I'm going to go to the space station, I want to drink vodka with Russians.
I want to be a Russian astronaut.
Yeah, totally.
Just feels like you're going up on a carnival ride.
So some of them maybe have a gun of some sort. You think I was thinking if somebody on the team goes crazy and tries to start killing people or something, like they have something to stop them. But my idea is to let a serial killer loose up there. And see if they weren't prepared to have to deal with a villain,
Right. Actually, make it like a reality show. Take Charles Manson up there, give him a gun, and then see how Sally Ride deals with it.
I'm on board with this. All of a sudden, I was like, "Yeah, this is stupid." Now I'm like, "Yeah."
Well, thanks for the beginning, the boost of confidence for the beginning of it. But or I was thinking
Wait,
like
why are we releasing a serial killer on the space station?
that's just my
It'd be
idea. It's just
interesting.
because
It's
I was
filmed in
thinking
space.
I was thinking about them not having defenses and like what they would do, how they would get themselves out of that situation. My first thought was just a bunch of armadillos with leprosy, just throwing them up there. But then I thought it would be more fun if it was a person.
You know the best way to imprison somebody aboard the International Space Station?
Throw them in the airlock and then just have your hand next to the release button, like, "I'll do it.
No.
Stop being crazy."
If first you gotta grab them, you gotta get control of them, and then get into like one of the modules that has some reach, so that where you can't reach both walls, and get them where they're perfectly still, right in the middle of the module, because no matter how much they flail, they'll never be able to reach the wall.
Steve-O, couldn't you inhale a bunch of air and then very quickly expel it? Like, do that?
You could. Yep, I bet you could. Inhale it slowly, and then exhale it quickly,
That's what Christopher Walken did.
or
Doesn't
exhale
that
it like
puts you back?
Yeah.
pucker your lips.
Christopher Reeves, sorry.
Yeah. Actually,
There
I
you
think
go.
that would work. I'm sure. Yeah, there's way, and in reality, over time, you would eventually drift towards one of the walls.
Because they couldn't keep it perfectly.
But it's a real thing. Like
Yeah.
like the astronauts up there, they make those silly videos, and they did that one time. They demonstrated that, and it's like
That's
it's
cool,
like
yeah.
it's like claustrophobia. It's like you can't
Yeah, it'd be
get
maddening.
free of where
Yeah.
you can't move.
It's like those videos when they have a frog up there and he's just so confused, just kicking, and he can't
And the
get
mice
anywhere.
too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I saw the video of the mice in their cage.
Yeah. But
It
at least
showed it
they
over
had
time.
the walls where they could.
Yeah,
climb
it just showed how the mice figured out how to get around, and once they got it really figured out, they were zipping around.
Yeah.
Like,
Just like they were in one of the normal cage on the ground with the rolly the wheel, the mouse wheel.
Yeah, it was really cool.
I was gonna have Nathan, the Trump whisperer, translate a Trump tweet. This came out like a week ago or something, but I was gonna have him. Okay, so on May
The one that I liked, is this that one?
I don't know, but
I liked one of them.
on May 13th. Okay, we're talking about a month ago. Trump tweeted, "Under my administration, we are going." I'm not even attempting to do a Trump impression. Under my administration, we are restoring NASA to greatness, and we're going back to the moon, then Mars. I'm updating my budget to include an additional 1.6 billion so that we can return to space in a big way. All right. And then that started a bunch of this talk about we're going to the moon by 2024. Trump mandates it, and then and now NASA's, are they going to get the 1.6 billion? We don't know. Or are they actually going to get to the moon by 2024? We don't know. So on June 7th, about a week ago, Trump tweets, "For all of the money we're spending, NASA should not be talking about going to the moon. We did that 50 years ago. They should be focused on the much bigger things we are doing, including Mars, of which the moon is a part,
Right,
defense, and science."
Yeah, there it is right there.
That was the thing that everybody, that was the thing that everybody kind of gravitated to, but in the space reporting world, they were gravitating to the part about NASA should not be spending money on the moon.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
Either way, I think I have an idea, but I wanted the Trump whisperer.
I mean, my take on that is and he has the initial tweet about, hey, we're gonna go to the moon, but who knows what the fuck he's being told about how much money is being spent and who is deciding on what and what their plans are. But it seems to me that he's setting it up because, and this is what I agree with, and I've said it on here before, I'd rather we just go to Mars. But you said, well, the moon would help with that. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he's just aiming at. He just doesn't want the focus to be primarily the moon. He wants the idea to be okay, moon, but then the point is to go to Mars. That's how I see it. But who the fuck
I
knows?
agree. Yeah, I do think that he was just saying that, like, at this time and for this amount of money we're spending, it shouldn't be the moon we're talking about. It should be Mars that we're talking about. But we have to do this moon thing first. But then
So
go ahead.
the next election is 2020.
Yeah.
He's just saying this to get reelected. I'll bet he's not even going to actually change the budget. I'll bet
Well,
he's
it's
just
not
saying
up to
it so
him.
that-
I mean, it's in there. The proposal is in, and the House completely ignored it.
Well,
they
that's the thing.
completely ignored it, and now
that's
we're
the
waiting
thing,
for the
Becca-
Senate to.
Yeah, Becca's saying that nobody cares about that, honestly. Like
Yeah.
they don't like if you talk about hot button issues that the electorate like gets
Oh,
riled
yeah.
up about.
It's not.
NASA's not one of them. There's a small sector people like Steve-O who are really into it, and then there's people like us who I'm
We're
into
kind
it
of like-
somewhat,
yeah.
tangentially. I
Right.
get a lot of it from you, but most people don't give a shit.
But I just feel like he's banking on the idea that if he's saying it's going to happen in 2024, we better keep him in office so it can make sure that
Oh
happens,
yeah, it's totally political, and I think that the number that he put out there kind of reflects that, because $1.6 billion ain't enough to get it done, and so they've painted, the NASA administrator has painted it like, well, that's enough to get us jump started so that we can give a few companies some seed money to start development on certain aspects of the plan, and I think that's what it is. Is he's like, well, there's this portion of the society who does vote according to the president's plan for space. So let me throw them a bone and try to get them on my side for the upcoming campaign. And I think that has a lot to do with it. But still, it gets balls rolling, and people are still going to talk about, can we really do this? Is this a realistic plan? And I'm not really in a position to be able to parse that, so I turn to the different podcasts and reporters and stuff that I listen to, and nobody's very optimistic about it. Like, nobody. The only person that's optimistic about it that I respect and I look forward to listening to is the NASA administrator, but he is a politician. He's not even like an ex-science. He is a fighter pilot, actually. Jim Bridenstine used to be a fighter pilot, but he also used to be a senator, so he is a politician. He knows how to carry the torch.
So is this the thing where we really just should still be just looking towards SpaceX and what Elon is saying to more?
Probably, because if they're gonna get there and they're gonna have useful equipment, it's gonna be SpaceX and Blue Origin, and there's a handful of other smaller companies that have stuff in the works that it's going to make it happen. And it's kind of like you need SpaceX and Blue Origin because they're headed by two guys that just have ambition to do this stuff, and they're not lured by money. You know, like if your Lockheed Martins and your Boeings, they won't do anything unless it's guaranteed to turn a profit. Whereas, Elon and Bezos, they want to do it because they truly believe in it. So SpaceX is going to build their Starship, and Blue Origin is going to build their Blue Moon lander. Regardless, they want to do it.
Do you think Bezos believes in it, or does he just want to be thought of as being as cool as Elon?
I mean,
he's already the richest guy there is, but people don't really care about him.
If he's being honest, he says that he's been into this his entire life. He's been into space stuff his entire life, and has always dreamed of being able to make an impact on space stuff. And he wants to create the infrastructure that was already there when he started Amazon. All the shipping and railroads and airplanes and all the stuff that was already there.
Right.
He wants to build that infrastructure for the coming space economy. And if he's being honest, then yeah, that's the kind of attitude and he's selling $1 billion of his own stock in Amazon to pump into Blue Origin, and that's a lot in this industry. That is $1 billion a year is a lot for where their company is.
All right.
But yeah, I think that's what it's going to be. Like, NASA's really going to end up, NASA will still head the moon thing because they have the most know-how, but they're going to be sitting pretty because they're going to have a couple of businesses that have already taken it upon themselves to develop the shit that they need.
Right. Yeah. Dave, what are you doing over there?
I'm right here.
What are you doing?
Nothing. Sitting here.
What are you doing, Dave?
What are you really doing?
I'm sitting. I'm sitting.
So
there we go. Just start dancing. Dave doesn't know what to do. He just starts dancing.
So if just some lady was freaking out about her finances, like say she was moving soon and she was freaking out about her finances for no good reason, just because regardless, she's freaking out. And she wanted to just drop $50 on a pedicure and start selling pictures of her feet. How would she start that?
I don't know, but I've heard that selling worn socks can be quite lucrative.
Let me go ahead and tell you, buy a big old pack of socks from Walmart. I got some girls at work. I'll get back to you. They have, yeah. There's
some people that have done it.
There's at least 3 different girls at work that have been propositioned to take pictures of their feet and sell them to dudes that are there and asking them for it.
Oh,
excellent.
Yeah, so I'll get back to you.
I can't tell if Becca's joking right now. I really don't know. I really can't tell.
Maybe you'll never know unless you have about $50.
Unless I'm on.
Oh wait, what's the $50 for?
Give them a little preview and show them your feet on the Verbal Assault podcast.
No, I need to get a pedicure first. They're not ready.
Oh, $50 for the pedicure, and then you take the pictures of your feet.
It's so weird. Like back in my day, we used to ask to see your tits. And that is just too far now. But somehow feet are just like out of the imagination of the old people and what's weird now.
Yeah,
it's just
kids are into.
It's just a footnote in history.
But hey, I'll give you $50 if you take a picture of your feet and send them to me. And the girls always say, ew, gross. And then they come back to the server station like, now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
In my day, we just wanted to see tits and ass.
I'm like, yeah, do it. It's just feet. It's not like it's your tits. It's not like, oh, you're going to be disqualified from this job interview because there's a picture of you on Facebook with your feet.
Now, you'd want to make sure that whatever you sent those pictures from was not like your normal email or your phone number, like a text message or something. You want to have a separate account just for that because it'll develop. They'll be like, okay, now I've got your phone number, and then it'll get all weird.
It's like
when I came back from the war, I wanted to see some coochie. I didn't want to see any fucking feet.
Get these feet out of here. What the hell are you doing? Show me that beaver.
Note to self, get rid of becca.penlandsfeet.com.
Just footjoy@gmail.com.
Yeah, like what the fuck? Who cares if a dude jacks off to my feet?
Who cares?
Who cares?
He's not going to show that picture to someone. They're going to be like, "Oh my god, that's Becca's feet." Oh shit, I have tattoos on my feet. Maybe.
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh well, you can charge a premium for that.
Oh,
Nathan,
I probably could.
Nathan will be scrolling through feet. He'll squeeze his boner with the range.
I know those feet.
Becca, what have you done?
I needed money. No, I'm free. Like I said, it's for no good reason. I'm freaking out. It's just because it's all happening, and I feel like I'm going away from money and not ever going to make it again for some reason.
I remember feeling that way.
Yeah, I felt that way too. I'm making way more fucking money here than I was working both jobs up there.
That's good. That's good. I ain't worried.
Maybe I should get into this foot thing. I bet there's some dude somewhere that would like my feet. I got pretty nice feet.
You got nice ankles too.
Nathan with his petite feet.
Yeah, I got those petite feet. I just need to make sure to cut my toenails.
Yeah.
Petite.
Yeah, you want to make a feature presentation.
Play the songs.
Oh, God damn it, Dave.
I knew we had Dave in here for some reason.
Uh-oh. I don't see Patrick anymore. I mean, I do, but
He's
know
busy.
it's not real. All this talk
feet
about
talk.
feet.
He's looking for feet, baby.
Nope.
How do you feel about it? Hey, Patrick, that really seems like something that would be in your wheelhouse. At least
It's up here.
where
Really
where
up your
does
alley, isn't it?
No.
where does someone go to sell pictures of their own feet?
That I would not know because that's something I don't go looking for.
I understand, but I can't imagine that you go looking for everything that you show us. I mean, some of the stuff that you've shown us, I can't imagine you went looking for it.
Good,
Yeah.
good little point there, Steve-O.
Matters like this. Matters like this. You're our go-to to know to.
You might be able to do that on
No.
Patreon.
2 feet.
Patreon, yeah, there you go.
Patreon.
Instagram. Well, no, you would do like Snapchat Premium is what you
Yeah.
would do. You'd get your
But a lot of-
Snapchat,
Yeah.
you'd show a little bit of ankle, and then people would sign up for the premium, and then you get the full feet action.
Oh.
With cute shoes on. Oh,
Yeah.
I got all kinds of
I don't know. Do
plans.
guys like shoes? Do they want the cute shoes on?
You
Patrick,
should
do guys
see.
like shoes? Patrick's
He's
gone.
gone.
again.
He's
Yeah,
so
I
uncomfortable.
don't know the foot fetish world. Do they? I mean, I guess if I'm watching porn, I like it to start out with the girl having clothes on.
So
Yeah.
have shoes on. I'll maybe take them off in the process, but
And then you step on a cake or something.
Oh
No.
yes.
Yeah.
yeah, okay,
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is great.
But
I'll
you're
make
gonna
sure
have to put some Drano in that shower drain just because that cake is just gonna make it clog up even
Get you a
worse.
big old cardboard box. Just grab one on your way out from work, stomp some cake in it, throw it in the ocean.
No. Then
Sea
you
turtle's problem now.
Steve-O, then for the next level, if they gave you even more money, you would lick the frosting off of your own feet.
Oh,
That would be that would be the thing to do.
But then it's gonna show her mouth and possibly her face.
Not if she
Yeah.
wears one
You
of
gotta
those
do
like
like a-
masquerade
yeah,
masks.
Yeah. Yeah.
You guys are giving me a lot to think about. This
Well,
Dave's just.
But
Hey,
I'm
Dave,
just saying-
just know that your daughters have a lot of opportunities in this world to make money. Just
That's right.
there's a lot of security. There's a lot of security.
All the bad stuff I learned, all this queer stuff, all this weird stuff I learned from this show.
He's using
Flat
queer as in
earthers,
the fifth, like
everything.
the way people would use it in the 50s.
No, he's using it the way they would use it today.
Correctly.
Dave is very progressive,
Yeah.
open-minded. Aren't you, Dave?
Eh,
That's why he wears the hat. He's got to keep all that. His mind's so open, it might just float right away.
it's like a creaky screen door. That's
Yeah.
more like it.
Becca,
I was just gonna say, listeners, if you want to help me out with that pedicure, the initial installment, go to patreon.com/verbal assault. Right? That's
Yep,
what the
that's
website
it.
is.
Yep.
You're
Wait a
gonna get
minute,
a
wait a
Johnny
minute.
story and a picture of Becca's feet.
Throw me a
that all
bone.
goes to Patrick.
But-
You're
but,
gonna
well,
have to
you
start
have
your
to
own Patreon.
Put an
So that-
asterisk.
Yeah,
and
that
then-
goes into our hosting.
Yeah.
All right, you can just write me a check. It's fine. I take checks. So when you said "all right, Becca," did that mean what I thought it meant?
Of course it did.
Okay. This poem is called Dark Matter. I see a future. It's not something you necessarily need to see. To get started, I'll need credentials. Blood in the bowls from the street trash. Nothing has come of it yet. That's fine. I know how to get them. All it takes is a blanket full of smallpox. Grab a Bible and scream. I haven't watched the video, but I heard. He was fucking an armadillo and they chopped his head off. The show must go on.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was a good poem. They're usually so dark and existential. That one was funny. There you go.
Fucking an armadillo.
So I guess we've already plugged the Patreon, but I'll say it again, patreon.com/verbal assault. You want to definitely check us out on mixer.com/verbal assault podcast. We got a couple people in chat to hang out with when we do stream live 10:30-ish every Friday night. What else we got? We got a voicemail. You want to get in touch with us? How do you do that?
Do we have any voicemails?
No, we do not.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe somebody somewhere. out there could leave us a voicemail at 865-316-6985.
Whoa.
What the hell? Are you new here, bro?
Whoa.
I think I missed
Careful.
the numbers.
Careful. Don't listen to him.
316, not 369.
No. You got that part right.
What kind of number soup is this?
What's going on?
Oh man.
Oh,
Okay.
no.
Erase all
It's
those
on
numbers.
the screen.
Erase all
on the
those
screen.
numbers.
We're gonna have to
in your brain,
bring-
y'all.
Dave.
How about 8, 6, 5, 3, 1, 6, 6, 9, 5, 5.
Yeah. And follow us on Twitter. Twitter.com. Twitter.com. Underscore.
Oh, God!
No, that is right.
Yeah, /_ verbal assault _. It's verbal assault surrounded by underscores. What are we going
Come
to
get
do?
a fight with me, please.
Yeah, what is your name on there again? Game Master Becca?
Master Becca, and I have an idea for a new segment on the show called Twitter Fights.
All right. Go pick your fights.
Oh boy.
But
It's like bum fights, except now they have cell phones.
But if I do this, I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, just like I am, what's the word where you're good and you do things for good reasons?
Altruistic.
No, it starts with not courteous. Anyway, so I will
Altruistic is the word.
It's not
Courteous.
But,
Charming.
Eloquent. Very eloquent.
Charismatic.
The words just spill out.
they're not the word I need. The word I need is where integrity.
Jumping up on your Buffy cookies.
Yeah.
Cuffy bookies.
I'm going to be I'm going to have as much integrity with my Twitter fights as I do with my poems. I am not going to go after a fight that I don't believe in. I am going to, if I do this segment, it will be a fight that I actually wanted to have, not one that I started on purpose.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's very noble. of you.
And I assume you'll start out, courteous.
No,
I always like to assume that the person at the other end is able to have a meaningful conversation / debate, and then let them show me otherwise. I don't assume it. I don't really assume it. I operate under the assumption.
All right. Thank you, Haywood Banks, for our theme song. That's it.
Deuces!